You already know the names of all 7 Hermetic laws. Now, Mentalism, Correspondence, Vibration, Polarity, Rhythm, Cause and Effect, and Gender. Yesterday, we showed you how to use them together to manifest faster, but almost no one watching this can tell you which single law is running their life in this exact moment, right now, today. Most manifestation content treats every stuck place the exact same way. Raise your vibration. Think more positive. Feel it until you make it over and over, no matter the real problem underneath. You have done all of that already, and some days nothing moves at all, no matter how hard you repeat the same instruction. That is not because you are doing something wrong, and it is not because your vibration is broken. It is because you were only ever handed one single tool, when the ancients actually left behind 7 distinct ones, each solving a completely different kind of problem, and you were simply never handed the other 6. There are 7 possible answers to why you feel stuck right now, and only one of them is actually true for your exact situation today. By the end of this teaching, you will know precisely which law you are standing inside of, and exactly what to do about it starting tonight. The Hermeticists called the first and deepest of these 7 laws the principle of mentalism, and it says something simple but enormous. The all is mind, and the entire universe you are standing inside of is mental in its true nature, not physical first, mental first, always. That single fact quietly changes everything about how you are supposed to diagnose a stuck place in your life, because a mental universe does not respond to force, it responds to precision. Read that sentence again. Force pushes against a mental universe. Precision moves with it. A doctor never prescribes the same medicine for every illness that walks through the door. They diagnose first, and only then do they treat what is actually wrong in front of them. Most people are self-medicating every problem in their life with the same one law and calling it manifestation when it fails again. By the time this teaching ends, you will be able to look at any single place you feel stuck right now. Money, love, timing, identity, and name. Precisely which of the 7 Hermetic laws is actually responsible for it. No more guessing, no more forcing the same law onto the wrong problem. Stay with me, because this changes how you see every single thing that has ever felt stuck, broken, or delayed in your life. Starting with the very next teaching, nothing about what comes next will feel like more of the same, because it changes how you see everything that comes after it, too. The ancients did not leave behind one single law of manifestation. They left behind 7: mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender, each one governing a completely different mode of the same underlying mind. None of them replaces the others. Each one has its own mechanism, its own signature, its own use. Because the all is mind, and your own mind is an individualized portion of that exact same mind. Every one of these 7 laws is already operating inside your life right now. Whether you can name it yet or not, that is the actual foundation this entire diagnostic rests on. Modern manifestation teaching takes one of these 7 laws, usually vibration, and repeats it endlessly, as if it were the entire system on its own. The Hermetic tradition never worked that way. It always taught the seven as one whole system, working in 7 parts, not one law wearing 7 different names. This is why the diagnostic checklist you are about to learn matters more than any single technique you have ever tried. A doctor treats the illness they actually find in front of them, never the one they were simply trained to expect first. The checklist exists, so you stop guessing and start recognizing. Let this sink in. You do not have a vibration problem. You have a diagnosis problem, and those 2 things require completely different solutions. Say it out loud if you need to. It changes how you listen to everything after this. Say it slowly, and actually let the difference register before you move on. Here is the actual mechanism. Under the principle of cause and effect, every law you are currently standing inside of leaves behind a distinct effect, a specific pattern, a signature you can train yourself to recognize in your own daily life. Learn to read the signature, and the diagnosis becomes almost automatic. Neuroscience gives this same skill a name: metacognition. The brain's ability to step outside its own control room for a moment and actually observe which system is currently running the panel, instead of blindly pressing the same button every single time. That single skill is the difference between reacting and actually understanding. Think of an old radio. It does not receive every station in the world at once. It only ever picks up the one frequency it is currently tuned to. Your stuck place works the exact same way. One law is tuned in right now, and the other 6 are simply silent, waiting their turn quietly in the background. Read that sentence again. One law is active right now. The other 6 are simply waiting their turn, patiently in the background. Notice which one, and you already know where to look next. That single piece of awareness is worth more than another hour of forcing. Notice it, and the search narrows fast. So instead of forcing more vibration onto a problem that was never actually a vibration problem to begin with, tonight you are going to learn one simple diagnostic question to ask before you try to fix anything else in your life at all. One clear question, asked honestly every single time you feel stuck. Ask yourself 3 things. Is this about what I believe? That is mentalism. Is it about what I am actually doing? That is cause and effect. Or is it about when I am doing it, and that one is rhythm? Answer honestly, and the right law almost names itself. We are halfway through the 7 laws now, and the ones people skip past the fastest in every manifestation video are almost always the exact ones actually running their life underneath everything else. Now, let's put this to work. Come into this with me. Everything from here forward is application, not theory. Come into stillness with me now. Let your shoulders drop and let your breath slow down completely, because you are about to run a real diagnosis on your own life, not repeat another affirmation you do not fully understand yet. This is not another affirmation. This is a real diagnosis, done properly. I am mind, individualized, and I carry the same creative authority that the mind holding the entire universe carries, which means I can learn to read my own patterns the exact same way I would read any other law of nature. simply mind observing mind. I release the old habit of treating every stuck place in my life the exact same way. The habit of pushing harder on a law that was never actually the one blocking me in the first place. That pattern kept you exhausted, and it kept you stuck in the wrong place entirely. I release the old belief that one single technique should fix every problem I have. Money, love, timing, and identity, as if they were all secretly the same law, simply wearing 4 different masks. 4 different problems deserve 4 different answers, not one repeated technique. Real diagnosis means retiring the one-size-fits-all approach for good, starting today. That belief dissolves completely now, and in its place I hold something simpler and far more precise. One problem, one law, one clear and honest diagnosis every single time. Precision replaces effort every single time you apply it correctly. Precision, not effort, is what actually moves a stuck place forward from here. Let this sink in. Diagnosis before treatment, every single time. Starting today, no more guessing which law you actually need, and no more forcing the wrong one onto the right problem. We are going to walk through 4 real places this shows up in your actual life: your mind, your money, your relationships, and your sense of timing. And in each one, you will name the exact law that is currently active in the order your own life actually presents them. First, your mind and your sense of identity. When your self-image feels stuck, the question is never whether you are vibrating high enough today. It is whether you are still holding a belief about who you are that was never actually true to begin with. I am the mind that generates every law I move through, and the self-image I have been quietly holding onto is not a fixed law. It is only a thought I am fully capable of revising the moment I see it clearly. That is the entire mechanism. Nothing more mysterious than that. I no longer chase a version of myself that I am not actually living from today. I vibrate from the identity I am consciously choosing right now. And by the law of mentalism, that choice reshapes what I experience next. The choice comes first. The world simply catches up to it after. Read that sentence again. The identity comes first, always. The evidence only follows after it, never before. Say it slowly. Let it actually land this time. Say it slowly, and let the order of it actually sink in this time. Let it truly settle before you move on. So today, the next time you catch an old belief about who you are, do not fight it directly. Simply name it. This is mentalism, and I am revising the thought itself, not arguing with the world it produced. That is the whole practice, repeated daily until it becomes automatic. Second, your money. When abundance feels stuck, the real question is rarely whether your inner state matches the wealth you say you want. It is whether you are actually causing anything genuinely new to happen. And only one of those 2 questions actually moves money. I am the cause. My life is the effect. And no amount of quietly rearranging how abundance looks on the inside replaces one real new cause set into motion by me today. That one new cause is worth more than 100 repeated affirmations. One real cause, chosen deliberately, outweighs 100 repeated affirmations about money. I stop confusing correspondence with cause. Changing what my bank account looks like inside my own mind is not the same thing as changing what I actually do differently. Starting tomorrow morning, with my own two hands, the inner picture is only ever the map. The action is the territory. Let this sink in. Correspondence only describes it. Cause and effect is what actually creates it, and only one of those pays the bill. Only one of those two actually pays a single bill. Only one of those two directly changes what actually happens in your bank account. So today, when money feels stuck, ask yourself what one new cause you are genuinely willing to set in motion this week. Not what new belief you are willing to silently repeat to yourself in the mirror again. Small, specific, and real, that is what actually counts here. Third, your relationships. When connection feels stuck, love and resentment are almost never two separate feelings at all. By the principle of polarity, they are the very same energy, standing at two opposite ends of one pole, and choosing between them was always yours to make. I hold both ends of every polarity I feel inside me, and I consciously choose which end I stand on today, without pretending the other end does not still exist somewhere inside me. That choice, made consciously, is the entire practice of polarity. That conscious choice, repeated daily, is the entire practice of working with polarity. I no longer fight the resentment as if it were some separate enemy living inside me. I recognize it as the exact same love, simply standing on the wrong end of the same pole, and calmly I move it. The shift is not suppression, it is simple, honest redirection. Read that sentence again. Same energy, exactly. Only a different position on the very same pole. And you are always the one who chooses where you stand. So today, when a relationship feels stuck, ask yourself honestly which end of the pole you are currently standing on. And remember clearly, you were always completely free to move along it at any moment you choose. That single question changes the whole relationship, starting today. Fourth, your sense of timing. When the waiting itself feels stuck, the principle of rhythm says every tide that goes out also always comes back in, and forcing the swing to happen early only delays it further. The tide never actually left, it was only moving somewhere you could not see yet. I no longer force what genuinely needs to be timed correctly, and I no longer sit passively waiting on what actually needs a real cause set into motion by me. Today, right now, timing is not punishment, it is simply rhythm doing exactly what it does. I stop confusing the silence of rhythm with the silence of failure. The tide is still moving beneath the surface, even in the exact moment I cannot see it moving at all with my own eyes. Trust the motion you cannot yet see with your own eyes. Let this sink in. It is not gone. It is simply swinging back toward you, on its own patient timeline, whether you can see the motion yet or not. Mind, cause, polarity, rhythm, 4 laws, 4 honest diagnoses, and you now know exactly how to read every single one of them the moment they quietly show up in your life again. Starting tonight, 4 laws, named clearly, is worth more than 7 laws left vague. Say this with me now. I am the mind that generates every single law I move through, and I am not separate from that mind for even one moment. for even a single moment, no matter how the day has felt so far. Say it and mean it fully. Declare this openly. I no longer force what needs to be timed, and I no longer wait passively on what actually needs to be caused by me. That single sentence undoes years of forcing the wrong law onto the wrong problem. Starting today, starting with the very next thing I am waiting on. Speak this now with your whole voice. Every effect in my life points directly back to a cause I am fully capable of identifying and changing today. Ownership, not blame. That is what this declaration actually means. That I am fully capable of identifying clearly and changing deliberately, starting now. Hold both ends with me now. I hold both ends of every polarity I feel, and I consciously choose which end I stand on in every single moment. No more fighting one end of myself as if it were the enemy.in every single moment, without pretending the other end has simply disappeared. Declare it fully, out loud. I diagnose before I treat. I name the law before I ever try to fix a single thing in my life. Diagnosis first, always, before a single technique is even considered. Before I ever reach for a single technique to try to fix it. And finally, the truest declaration of all. I am not separate from the all. I read its laws clearly, because I am made of the exact same mind that wrote them, that quietly wrote every one of the 7 laws we named today. Nothing closer to home than that. Carry this with you today. One problem, one law, one honest diagnosis. Before you try to fix anything else, nothing more complicated than that, starting the moment you wake up tomorrow. Do not just hear this, inscribe it. Type I am in the comments to anchor this diagnosis into the physical matrix today, and share this with someone ready to remember who they truly are. Subscribe, because a new law, a new key arrives every single day, and you are, and have always been, an individualized portion of the all.